What's up, everybody? This is Richard Skeletor, and today we're going to be talking about how to bounce back from a low vibrational state. So in this video, that's what we're going to go over. So how do you bounce back from a low vibrational state? Well, there's a lot of ways to do it. I've given many techniques: meditation, I feel great technique, thinking better thoughts. But I'm going to give you another technique. Another technique is to change your environment. So first of all, I'm going to give some examples of a low vibrational state, some stories that have happened to me in a low vibrational state, and I'm sure they've happened to you. So my first story is this. So once upon a time, I was going to dinner. I was going to dinner with my family, and I was going to meet my mom and my dad for dinner. Well, what happened was I was on the phone with my mom, and I told her to meet me for dinner. And we had an arrangement to go to this restaurant, and I was waiting at this restaurant for a long period of time, and I was getting worried, and my dad didn't have his cell phone on. So then I called the cell phone and nobody answered. It just kept on ringing and ringing and ringing. So then what I did is I started getting more worried, and about 45 minutes went by, and in that 45 minutes I was so worried that something happened to him. They got in a car accident, that all these things went through my mind. So then I left my family at the restaurant. I said, you guys just go ahead and order some food while I go look for my mom and dad, because my parents, where I live and where my parents live is about 10 minutes away. So the restaurant is kind of in the middle of us, this restaurant. So I went to their house, and on the way to their house, I saw a car accident. I see a car accident, and I was like, oh my gosh. Before I got there, I was like, oh, is that my parents in a car accident? I see the lights, I see the police over there, an ambulance, but it wasn't them. So, and then when I get to my parents' house, and I open the door, and I say, oh, my dad left his phone there, because I have the keys to my parents' house. Left the phone there, and I was like, okay, so let me see if they drove a different way to get to the restaurant. So I drove a different way, because there's a few ways to get there, and there was another car accident. So I was in this negative vibrational state, and I was thinking all these negative thoughts, and all these things started showing up in my reality, in my environment, because of my mind of what happened. Now you got to remember, to have two accidents happen in the short amount of time because of my worried state, that's why it showed up in my reality. So what I'm trying to say is your thoughts do create your reality, because that was one of my major concerns, that they got in a car accident and something happened to them. And that's why I was seeing these things in my reality within that time. I was in a negative state of fear, a negative state of worry, and these things showed up in my physical reality, in my environment. So I want to know, you guys, do you guys ever have that happen to you? A negative state, and then negative things show up. Maybe it's something you were thinking about. So I'll give you another example of a negative state that's something that's happened to me. So I've been in a negative state where I'm getting behind somebody before, and I was like, oh my god, this person's slow, and I'm so frustrated. I'm trying to get somewhere, and by the time I get there, I've already hit two other cars, and they've got in front of me, they've cut me off, they have gone slow drivers. I got two or three slow drivers at once. I'm like, what is this? So then I knew it was my vibrational state that was doing that, and then I started laughing at myself at this time on the freeway, because I knew I was attracting it. You see, I was aware of it. Most people aren't aware of these states, and they just keep happening over and over again. You get into these vibrational states, and negative things just start to happen to you. So let me give you another example. So another example is, when I'm in a negative state, I've had my kids get more loud, more irritated, more annoyed, because of my state. My state of being is a reflection of my environment. So my state of being is reflecting that to me in a negative state, that I'm getting more annoyed, they're being louder, they're fighting with one another. I have two boys, so they're fighting with one another, and things are going in more of a negative spiral. So, these things show up because of your state of being. So how do we change these states of being? Well, I'm going to give you a pretty cool technique that you can do. The first thing you always got to be is awareness. You got to be awareness of your vibrational state. Awareness of, how do I feel? What am I thinking? Are my thoughts joyous? Are my thoughts non-harmonious? Are they in fear? Are they in anger? Are they in frustration? What's going on with me in that moment? What's going on with me that's triggering me in this negative state? So it's to catch yourself in that state, and then to do something about it. Remember, awareness is the key. Awareness will get you there, because once you're aware, you can take action on how to change things. You have to be aware of it. You can't be on autopilot, reacting to things, left and right, go through your day, react to this, react to traffic, react to kids, react to the world, react to the news, whatever those things that you think that you're reacting to, you have to change it by being aware. So that's key number one. So what do you do when you're aware and say, oh, I have this emotional state? Well, here's a technique that will help. Change your environment. Now, if you could do this, do something that's fun. So let's say you're in traffic, okay? Well, I'm gonna get off the freeway and do something fun. So maybe doing something fun is getting off the freeway and going to Starbucks. Maybe it's like, oh, I'm gonna go to Starbucks, I'm gonna relax. That's really good. I really like this drink, this coffee drink, this tea drink, and that's fun for me. Always think, what is fun? What is the funnest thing I can do right now that I'm capable of doing? Okay, maybe it's taking a walk. So that will change your vibrational state. Okay, I'm gonna go take a walk because I'm stressed out. That's the funnest thing I can do at this moment. Always think, what is the funnest thing I can do right now to change my emotional state so I can bounce back from this state to the state that I want to get to, because that will take you there. It's very simple. Just change your emotional state by changing your environment. Once you change your environment, your emotional state will change. Think about this. If I'm in a bad emotional state, maybe the funnest thing is, oh, I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to go buy something. There's something I'm going to do to change this state. Let's say I was frustrated with something and then I'm going to change the state. So change your environment. That's the technique. What is the funnest thing I can do by changing my environment? Alright guys, so that's the video I want to leave today, was change your state by changing your environment, by finding the most fun thing to do in that moment. The most fun thing you can do in that moment to change your vibrational state, and tell me how it works for you. Leave comments below and let me know how it worked for you. How did it change your life? You know, give people examples of like, oh, I was in this state before and these things showed up on my negative state, and then I tried the technique of what's the most fun thing I can do and to change my environment. Alright guys, it's the most fun thing to do is change your environment. Let me know. Bye.